In this video, I'm going to be talking about solo ads. I'm going to be discussing what they are, how they work, the expectations, the benefits, and how you can make sure that they work for you. If this sounds like the type of information that you've been looking for, I hope that you stay with me for the full video. And if you enjoy this video, all that I ask is that you jump across to the channel by clicking on my channel name below and checking out to see whether there's any other videos that you feel will be beneficial to you. There's lots of other videos on similar topics in and around traffic, affiliate marketing, all that sort of stuff. So I hope that you find something that will be of benefit. So let's get started with the main content of this video, discussing solo ads. So before we move into what a solo ad is, we've got to talk about traffic. Okay, so traffic is the lifeblood of pretty much any online business. And essentially that is, it's bringing people to see what you've got. Okay, whether that's content, whether that's products for sale, whatever it might be, okay? And we can do traffic in many different ways, okay? We can do it in free strategies, we can do it in paid strategies, okay? And essentially what we're doing is we are either creating content, just say like this YouTube video, creating blogs and articles, creating graphics and images and mini videos on social media, or we are going to add platforms and we are targeting specific people towards the offer or the page, okay? Utilizing all of the data that these big ad platforms have on all of their users, such as Facebook and whatever that might be, okay? But every marketer knows that it's all about building a list. Okay, so you will drive that traffic to build that list. Okay, so that you are obtaining their email address, so that then you can market to them whenever you feel is appropriate, whenever you've got something to share, whenever you've got something to say. Okay, so when we move into a solo ad, essentially what a solo ad is, going to someone who's already done that process, who's gone through the traffic process, whether it's free or paid methods, to build a list who can then can send those emails. And what you or I would be doing is we're going to these people and saying, hey man, can you send an email to your list on my behalf? And I will obviously pay you for that benefit. Okay, so that's what it is. We are buying, an email, sent to a list that's congruent with the message that we are sending. Okay, so if you think about it, every marketer is building towards that email list. So starting with email is going to be an incredible pathway towards it. Okay, so now let's just talk about the solo ad vendors for a minute, because these are the people that we're going to be going to and buying this traffic. Now, most solo ad vendors are going to be experts in affiliate marketing because they will have gone through the process themselves to build that list. So this is why it's such an incredibly powerful method. But what you need to do is, when you are on the search for a good solo ad vendor, you really need to find out how they built their list. Okay, so they may have gone through the process of, running Facebook ads, other social media ads to build their list. They may have gone through a free process, then of which there is millions, where they're providing content. Okay, they may be a huge YouTuber or social influencer where they've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and then they've funneled their subscribers onto their list, for example. Okay, they also may be selling products. So they may be creating digital products, selling them, and then they've got the email as a customer. So that's what you call a buyer's list. And they're incredibly powerful because they've already shown an intention to purchase. They've already shown an intention to purchase because they got onto the list by buying a product. Okay, so if you can find out how the vendor is creating their list, possibly what products they're selling, sometimes you have the ability to find out or get onto their list yourself. So then you can see what they're doing with the list. What sort of emails are being sent, and whether they're congruent with the sort of emails that you want to send, the sort of products that you want to sell. Okay. And one of the very important things of anything to do with solo ads is to make sure that the traffic is what we call top tier traffic. And this top tier relates essentially to the predominantly English speaking countries. Okay, so USA, UK for example. So these are people that speak English predominantly, and they have the use of credit cards, and they're going to be prepared to spend, as opposed to some other countries, non-English speaking countries, and possibly some people that don't potentially have such available access to spending, for example, right? So you need to make sure that they're the important things to think of right off the bat, right? So what actually happens when you buy a solo ad? So you found the solo ad vendor that you want. You made sure that the traffic is, on the face of it, going to be decent and what you're looking for, right? What actually happens is that these guys have got this massive list. Okay, they've got this massive list, and it might be 100,000, it might be 200, 300, 400, 500,000 list, right? You're going to go to them and you're going to be like, right, well, I want to buy 100 clicks. Okay, so that would be 100 people that click on the email. Okay, 100 people that click on the email. And what he's going to do is he's going to go into his email service account, and he's going to send that email, and he's going to set it up so that you get about 100. So you're probably going to get about 120. And he's obviously going to be setting up these solo ads for lots of people, okay? Because he has the ability to probably inbox, tens of thousands of people. So he will set it up, and he'll put your email, the email that you've agreed, with the link that you've agreed, and he'll set it up so that it goes through, keeps getting sent until 100 people minimum have clicked on it. Okay, and he's got a system that will automatically do that for him. Okay, it's not like he's got 100,000 list and he just sends your list and it gets opened by everyone. Okay, that's not how it works, because you are paying approximately for each click. So as I say, you would purchase 100 clicks, you're probably going to get 110, 120, for example. So you're always going to get a little bit more, which is really, really cool. So let's just talk about the expectations. Okay, let's talk about the expectation, because this is really important, because like with anything with regards to affiliate marketing, online business, there's a larger portion of people that just think that they can do nothing and earn money like that, okay, with no real effort, no real learning, and that's a big problem, okay? So what you need to expect is that not all solo ads are going to work. Okay, just like any traffic, I could go onto Facebook and I could have a really high converting offer, and I can go into all of the targeting features that Facebook has, and I can choose the exact right people in the exact country, the exact location, the exact age, that have 20 of the exact interests on it, and it does not mean that it's going to convert. Okay, because it might be it might be the people at the wrong time. They've got issues or whatever's going on. They're not ready to purchase that time. You just don't know. Okay, and that's advertising. Okay, so you need to have your expectations that they're not going to work, but there is the potential to test and improve and scale, and these things to work. And like I like to compare it to a bricks and mortar store. Okay, so if you decided you had this product you wanted to sell, you wanted to start up a shop, okay, and you went to the high street, okay, and you're like, well, this is a great high street, this is fine, let's open up the shop, we'll put the products in there, and then after 1 hour you've seen 100 people walk past, okay, and no one's walked in, would you go, rough? Well, do you know what, let's call it a day, because these 100 people walked past and none of them walked in on day one. It's obviously a failure. I've obviously got a terrible product. I'm obviously a terrible salesperson. The shop front's terrible. This location is dreadful. You wouldn't, would you? You'd give it some time. And as the day moved on and as the days moved, you would start to tweak things, okay? And you'd work out whether it actually was a terrible location or whether it was just luck of the draw, So you need to have your expectations, and like with everything, you need to give it a go, because if you don't give it a go, you're never gonna have a chance, okay? So testing is incredibly important. Testing is really important. So whenever you do anything, you don't want to go, right, okay, day one, let's buy 50,000 clicks and spend every penny I could possibly get my hands on. You don't want to do that. You want to do a small test, 50 clicks, 100 clicks, and with a specific vendor, because that's the other thing. There's so many vendors. Okay, so you could get this guy 100 clicks and you get a really low opt-in rate. And if you get a really low opt-in rate, this vendor probably stinks. Okay, so you need to just cut your losses and move on to the next guy. Okay, you want to be expecting at minimum of 40% opt-in. Okay, so 40% of the 100 clicks, you want at least 40 people to get your email. Okay, otherwise, it hasn't been a great thing. And you want to ideally at least, ideally get a sale. It's not always going to happen. As I say, expectations, it's not always going to work. But if you can get one person to directly buy your product, that's great, okay? But here's the beauty of it, right? You need to make sure that you have a really great follow-up sequence, okay? You can't just go, right, we're going to get an opt-in, we're going to present them with an offer, however you've got your funnel to set up, right? And hope that someone purchases the product, because generally, if you've got it set up correctly, if you get one sale, you've paid for everything, okay? You've paid for everything, and then you've got that 40% of the leads, okay? Right? But it's not always going to be the case. Some cases, you're not going to get any sales. So you've spent just to get those leads. So then you need to nurture those leads. You need to have a follow-up sequence, which is going to condition them to potentially buy a product tomorrow, in 2 days' time, 3 days' time, next week, next month, okay, as you continue to build that list, right? And you can do this by having a really well-crafted follow-up sequence, which, redirects people back to that product, provides them with value and information, or you can just start hitting them with loads and loads of content, free information, so that in a week's time, when you come back to them and say, we've got this product which we recommend, which really lies into all of the information that we've been providing you for the last week, you can get that sale. Okay, so that is really, really important. Okay, so let's just talk about like the benefits of a solo ad. Okay, so the benefits of a solo ad, like with all paid traffic, is that the results are instant. Okay, whether it's a success, whether it's hasn't been a success, how many people have opted in, all these sorts of information, whether you've got a sale, okay, because it's generally going to happen instantly, because that's it. You've bought the solo ad, the ad's gone out, it's been opened, and people have taken, they've engaged with it or they haven't. Okay, that's really cool. So going back to the start of this video, when I started mentioning about like free traffic, you might be creating content, you might be writing an article, putting it online, that might not take any traction until, 6 months down the line, for example. I've got, on one of my channels, I've got a video that got about 30 views for about 11 months. 30 views in 11 months, okay? And then in the following year, got 75,000 views. Now, it's very difficult for me to justify or explain how that happened, but 30 views in basically a year, and in 75,000 in the subsequent year, okay? So, that could have continued to just be like another 30 views. You just don't know, right? So with a solo ad, with an ad, paid advertising, you're getting that instantly. Okay, you're getting that instant, and you're going to get those results. You can build upon it, and you can scale. Okay. Now, The other benefit that I really believe in of, SEO ads and all sorts of things, it's going to drive you to learn more. Okay. So you're going to be able, you are going to, particularly if you take the correct steps. Okay. You're going to learn, about buying traffic, just talking with vendors, working out what the best email the content is. You're going to be working out how to maximize your follow-up sequence, choosing the right offer on the front end, choosing right offers to broadcast once you've built that list, making sure you've got the right opt-in page, the right content pages. There's so many things that you will be able to tinker with every single day, every single solo ad you do, every single email that you send. You will be able to learn and improve day by day. And, if you're not learning, how are you going to improve your results, right? So just an overview of things that you need to consider with the solo ad. Okay. So things that you need to find a decent vendor. Okay. So there are lots of them. Okay. And you need to see how they built their list, what they are promoting to the list, how things are converting, how they're getting sales, all that sort of stuff, right? Is it good traffic? Okay. Once you're engaged with solo ads, you need to test and scout. So you need to test to make sure that you've got the right vendor, what's working, what's converting. Okay. And then you can go from smaller solos up to much bigger solos. Okay. And then, as I spoke about for a few minutes just there, making sure that you've got a great follow-up sequence to make sure that it is profitable, because it's not just about that initial hit. It's about what happens to nurture those leads, to make sure that that you've spent the money correctly and wisely. So I hope that you've got something out of this video all about solo ads and how they can be a benefit to your business. If you have, please make sure that you check out the channel for some of the congruent videos that we've got on affiliate marketing, traffic, all that sort of good stuff. And if you have liked it, feel free to stick a thumbs up and jump down to the comment section. And we'll see you on this channel real soon.